It's okay, okay? No! We just don't need Gil. Okay, look.
The story begins when a strange alien object crashed into our world. On the ground, a hunter collecting a buck he had shot detected a smash and walked to inspect it. A shriek resounded. His hounds ran away, and the man did not come back. Renee, a beautiful girl, cremated her deceased reptile during a tiny ceremony. Indoors, she said hello to her mom, fought with her stepdad, Chase, and headed to class. Silent and lonely, she tolerated her peers' ridicule. During a lesson regarding a guy's self-destruction, she claimed he was misjudged and detached. The students chuckled. At noon, a lad called Gil joined her, intrigued, yet she shoved him off. Later on, her mom showed up delayed. Renee urged her to quit Chase, labeling him a load. Her mom declined, stating he required her, which caused her to feel desired. Back home, Renee nourished her serpent, Graham, crooning gently. At supper, Chase exploded upon finding she had heated a deceased rodent. He tossed a meal at her visage. Enraged, she dashed outdoors while her mom and Chase yelled. She hopped onto her quad bike and raced toward the wastelands. Within the shadows, her torch illuminated a pit. Within sat an extraterrestrial tied in shackles next to a ruined auto. As the beam struck, it shrieked and jumped, held by the links. Renee dropped back, observing it struggle and weep. It subsequently became motionless, resting opposite her. She noticed the steel slicing into its skin. Touched by sympathy, she released the tether from the vehicle and ran back during the darkness. During her route to class, choppers scanned over the heavens. At her desk, she created a tally of provisions to aid the creature. Following classes, she requested a camcorder from Gil and convinced him to loan it. In the house, Chase attempted to reconcile, yet she ignored him. Collecting her equipment, containing Gil's firearm, Renee ventured out once more. Near the impact zone, she hunted through the debris until she located the being resting quietly. She positioned the lens, taping a note for her mom if anything occurred. Since he did not stir, she released the shackle from his limb and pivoted to retrieve the device for a near shot. Abruptly, he jumped. The creature yelled, then paused without harming her. Understanding he was not aggressive, Renee talked to him, presenting a fruit he declined. Choppers roared above, and she cautioned him that the folks inside were hazardous. Afterwards, at her place, she viewed the tape, shocked by what she had recorded. Recalling she abandoned the weapon, she stepped outdoors and discovered the being lurking by her residence. Frightened, she murmured that if anybody spotted him, they would strike. Jointly, they traveled to the Barrens to recover it. While they strolled, he instantly disappeared. In a flash, he returned, shrieked, and a ray of luminescence fired from his maw to her visage, linking them via a cryptic tie. At sunrise, she aroused to see him remaining there. Comforted, she embraced him and guided him back, slipping him to the cellar and ordering him to remain unseen. Concurrently, investigators scour the impact zone. Renee missed class. Once her stepdad and mom departed, she phoned her mother to inquire when she would return, then carried the creature aloft. She toured him about and provided meals, yet he declined. Renee presented him to her animals, cautioning him not to consume them as they were his pals today. She dubbed him Croak and strummed her acoustic. As melody occupied the space, his skin quivered. Tenderly, she vowed to guard him. Once her mom arrived prematurely, she hurried Croak to her chamber, assisted him through the pain and into the cellar ere she spotted him. While Renee was getting him arranged, Gil showed up requesting his device. Her mom admitted him to her quarters. As Renee came back and discovered he was present, she ran inside and caught him viewing the clip. Livid, she ordered it returned. He declined, demanding she clarify. She fibbed, claiming it was a beast film she intended to vend. He did not trust her. Their dispute became intense until her mom barged inside, suspecting something improper, and commanded the entry remain wide. Once she departed, Gil pushed once more. Hopeless, Renee chose to reveal to him. She guided him to the cellar where Croak waited in the gloom. Gil halted, then passed out from fear. As he aroused, he yelled and attempted to flee, yet Renee halted him, claiming Croak was not hazardous. He declined to trust her till she crooned gently. Croak's skin glistened, and Gil witnessed the connection amidst them. Renee assisted him outdoors and handed him a cloth for his wet trousers. Once settled, he vowed to preserve her mystery. Unknown to them, investigators close by were snapping images of them. Afterwards, she plucked her strings for Croak once more. He declined nourishment, and she fretted. The following day, Gil proposed bringing him to the wastes to feed. Renee declined, recalling that agents were still hunting, yet he persuaded her to travel south instead. That evening, they transported Croak to the sands and located feral hogs. Renee ordered him to prey, and he complied, consuming them individually. Glad to observe him dine, she gazed while Gil stared in terror. While Croak ate, they spoke softly. She informed Gil regarding her dad's demise and how her mom had relocated them to evade the hurt. Once Croak completed feeding, Renee guided him back to the cellar. In the lounge, she discovered Chase intoxicated. Their chat evolved into a dispute. He blamed her for rudeness. As she attempted to exit, he seized her and the scuffle became violent. Underneath, Croak felt her fright. As her mom dashed in to halt them, Croak bashed the cellar partition, rattling the residents. Her mom halted, believing it was a tremor. Subsequently, quiet descended. Once it finished, her mom booted Chase out and attempted to soothe Renee. She shoved her off and raced to the cellar, yelling at Croak never to perform that once more. They rested silently till their rage vanished. You might get captured. The following day, an officer probing the wreck halted Renee and stated they required to chat. She ordered him to talk with her mom, yet he persisted. Hesitantly, she entered his vehicle. He mentioned a firearm located at the ruin registered to her stepdad. Renee claimed it was Chase's and that her mom had quit him. The officer remarked her prints were upon it. She claimed she had been rehearsing, firing. He informed her it wasn't unlawful, yet felt she understood more, giving her his badge ere releasing her. Afterwards, her mom phoned a pipe fitter to repair the plumbing. As he descended into the cellar, he discovered Croak. Shocked, he waved a wrench, striking him. Croak struck back. The worker ran, leaking blood, phoned emergency services, and wrecked his auto. Following class, Renee's mom collected her. They fought. Renee blamed her for rejecting aid since her dad's passing. Her mom claimed she had vended their prior residence because she could not cover their expenses. Fear struck Renee. She raced to the cellar and discovered Croak shaking in the gore-stained gloom. Dejected, she informed him he must not injure anybody once more and resolved to transport him someplace more secure. As Gil was removing the rubbish, an officer walked up, stating he could utilize Gil's aid. The meeting left him anxious. Concurrently, Renee and Croak ventured toward the sands. Gil rang and she ordered him to join her at their regular location. Immediately when my once they gathered, Gil stated the officer had asserted Croak was hazardous and pressed him to assist. Anxious, Gil proposed handing Croak over. Renee declined and inquired if he had spoken anything. He vowed he had not. She forced him to swear to remain quiet, detailing her scheme to drive Croak far into the wastelands in her stepdad's truck until it was secure. Gil mentioned the officer had intimidated his migrant kin. In the house, Renee boxed meals and gear, bid farewell to her pets, drafted her mom a note, and sneaked out to the vehicle. Right as she ignited the motor, her stepdad emerged with a shotgun. He coerced her back indoors, yelling for her mom. Quaking, Renee halted. Her mom attempted to soothe him, yet he refused to hear. Distant, Croak felt her terror and dashed towards the residence. Indoors, Chase's fury increased. As Renee attempted to flee, he seized her and pointed the gun. Croak smashed in, striking and slaying him. Renee yelled for him to cease, yet Croak bellowed back as though stating he was guarding her, then ran into the wasteland. Seconds after, Gil showed up and witnessed the result. Terrified, he retched. Renee took her luggage to pursue Croak, yet Gil halted her, claiming it was finished. When she asked what he implied, he admitted he informed the officers of all. As she spun to escape, the official emerged and fired at her quad wheel. They seized Renee, connecting cables to her skull to analyze her bond with Croak. As spies observed, the head officer stepped up, said sorry icily, then snapped her digit. Away in the dunes, Croak sensed her agony and rushed towards her. As he reached, the spies shot a chilling device, icing his form. Renee yelled for them to quit, screaming that they were slaying him, yet nobody heard. They placed Croak onto a hauler and brought him to a guarded site while Renee was transferred to a questioning chamber. As the officer came back, Renee stared through weeping, labeling him vicious and unpardonable, then expectorated in his visage. He cleaned it off and stated she did not comprehend, asserting the beast was hazardous. She claimed that Croak was not a fiend, he was her companion. Renee's mom was led in, gripping her note. Weeping, she stated all Renee scripted was valid and said sorry for not hearing earlier. Renee rested in stun as her mom informed her she possessed her dad's spirit and pleaded with her never to misplace it. Ere they could utter more, the officer dragged her mom off. Shortly later, Gil showed up at the precinct, frantic to view Renee. As spies paused for her choice, Renee remained quiet. The agony in her fractured digit was intolerable, yet she squeezed it, trusting Croak would sense it via their link. Someplace within the complex, he started to move. Since nothing occurred, she twisted another digit till it cracked. The hurt caused her to yell. At that instant, Croak bellowed and escaped. Warnings rang as officers hurried to halt him. Croak ripped via the halls as signals rang and shooting broke out. He smashed via entry after entries till arriving at the questioning hall. With a single strike, he battered it ajar, knocking officers down. As he motioned to assault, Renee yelled for him to cease, pleading with him not to turn into the beast they asserted he was. Croak halted, then moved rearward. Renee snatched openers from a dropped spy and released herself. They rushed outdoors, and she guided him towards an officer's auto. Indoors, the chief officer seized his firearm and sprinted behind them. Simultaneously, her mom fled her detention space and paused at the view of dropped cops. Outdoors, Renee had nearly attained the auto when the official showed up with his weapon lifted. She crouched behind the transport, yelling for Croak to remain low, yet he refused. Rounds ripped via the atmosphere as he shot. Croak stood to guard her. The official drained his gun into Croak's torso, yet Croak continued advancing, knocking him down ere falling next to him. Renee dashed to his flank, crying as amber ichor flowed over the earth. Her mom hurried out and embraced her whilst Croak rested still. Afterwards, Renee perched on the deck, gently plucking her acoustic whilst her mom prepared food indoors. The melody floated across the quiet wasteland atmosphere. Researchers clustered near Croak's form. While they conversed, he woke up and a sharp shriek occupied the chamber. The movie ends here. Please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching.